evening, everyone. Choctaw County deputies need your help finding a missing man.
26-year-old Travis Sean Hunt has not been seen or heard from since August 11th. Investigators say he was last seen walking on Concord Beth Salem Road. Hunt was last seen wearing blue jeans with no shirt or shoes on. He's about 5'8" and weighs 185 pounds. Hunt also has several tattoos. If you know where he is, call the Choctaw County Sheriff's Office.
Lee County Sheriff's Office is searching for two runaway teens. 14-year-old Haley Patterson and 15-year-old Mason McGillivray are possibly in a 2002 white Geo Tracker with the license plate number PNB 3131. Patterson is 5'3", 130 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. McGillivray is 5'3" and 110 pounds with dark brown hair. They have been seen in the Moorville and Pontotoc areas. Anyone with information should call the Lee County Sheriff's Office.
Chickasaw County has a new crime-fighting tool, a Dutch Shepherd named Rex.
Our Allie Martin has more on the canine and how the community helped the Sheriff's Department meet this big need.
The newly built obedience course at the Chickasaw County Sheriff's Department is being put to good use.
Good man. Yeah.
Canine handler Bo Yateman is working with the Sheriff's Department's new canine, Rex, a 2-year-old dual-purpose dog.
Not only does he do detection work as far as narcotics, he also does patrol and tracking and stuff like that.
The Sheriff's Department found itself in need of a new crime-fighting canine after its previous dog was retired because of an on-duty injury. Yateman says his new partner is highly intelligent with incredible capabilities.
We would never be able to understand how their nose works. I mean, it's just awesome. You know, I mean, they can break odors down to far as smelling what's in the air right now, and just instead of us just smelling a breeze or just feeling a breeze, they would actually be able to tell us, you know, what is across that field right now.
Rex has been in training for the past 6 weeks in Indiana and in this area, and the community also played a big role helping the Chickasaw County Sheriff's Department get their new canine.
The money's always tight, and I tell you what, Chickasaw County, the people in this county are just real receptive with the department. They've helped us buy several pieces of equipment, and this is such a big benefit for the citizens and the law enforcement in Chickasaw County. There's lots of times that you know, when we're on drug searches, manhunts, building searches. You just can't beat the nose of a dog.
Rex and Officer Yateman will soon start visiting local schools, giving canine crime-fighting demonstrations. In Chickasaw County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Canines live with their handlers, so Officer Yateman and his family share their home with both Rex and Knockgood.
DMVs across the state were shut down for most of the day. The Mississippi Department of Public Safety says every driver's license station in the state was shut down due to a system outage. Many reopened, though, late this afternoon. The Department of Information Technology is working to correct the issue. The Highway Patrol says the DMVs will open at their normal time tomorrow. Time now for a first look at our forecast. We'll turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hot today, but not quite as humid.
Yeah, not as bad as where we were some 24 hours ago. The heat index only 99, the temperature only 91. So not quite as bad as our Tuesday, but still pretty warm out there. Upper 80s now in Starkville, 90 in Tupelo. We popped a few showers here, especially across the southern tier this afternoon as expected, but those are moving south, and it looks like the rest of this evening is looking great. 7 o'clock, mid-80s. By 11 o'clock, mid-70s. Lows tonight down to around 70. And for your Thursday, lots of sunshine, lower humidity. I'm back with your full 7-day in just a few minutes.
The special election to fill the Columbus Ward 1 City Council seat is now set. Qualifying begins today and will end September 4th. The special election will be held September 24th. If there is a runoff needed, it will be held on October 15th. The Ward 1 seat came open after the death of longtime Councilman Gene Taylor. He had served in that seat since 2006.
A Republican candidate for governor says he believes he's the only candidate who can defeat Democrat Jim Hood in November. One day after being endorsed by his former primary opponent, Robert Foster, Bill Waller makes his case to voters in Tupelo today. The former state Supreme Court Chief Justice shared his views on issues such as health care, infrastructure, and education.
My goal when I qualified was to make the runoff because I thought that in the field that my best chance would be to win in a runoff, because I felt that there was a majority of the people of Mississippi that wanted to change. And I think that the first election proved that. There's over 50% of the voters in Mississippi are interested in education, health care, and roads and bridges, and we're going to carry that through August the 27th.
Waller and Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves will face off in a debate 1 week from tonight. Runoffs are, of course, August 27th.
A new policy from the Public Service Commission is changing the way utility representatives travel. The commission recently voted unanimously to no longer allow utility companies to charge customers for expenses related to travel in private corporate jets. Northern District Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley said such expenses should not be passed on to customers. Now utility executives will only be reimbursed for business-related travel in coach.
If they're going to be reimbursed for business-related trips, it ought to be in the same manner that Mississippians travel. And their average customer, I don't know if any of their customers have their own corporate jet. Customers shouldn't be paying for that, and that is just a sickening form of corporate greed that we're working to eliminate. The airplane incident is just emblematic of the type of things that we're trying to carve out of customers paying.
And Presley made the proposal last year after Mississippi Power made the request to pass on its corporate jet expenses to customers.
Here in the Deep South, we rely on our air conditioners pretty heavily, especially this time of year. But a key component of some AC units will soon be changing.
New regulations are in the air, and the EPA has announced the production of Freon will stop in January of next year. Our Stephanie Poole joins us in the studio with more on what you need to know to stay cool.
Yes, many homeowners may be soon facing a big choice: much higher AC maintenance bills or investing in a new system. For years, most residential air conditioning systems have run on a refrigerant called R22, better known as Freon. But beginning next year, that will change. Freon will be replaced by a new chemical, Puron. And as the amount of Freon begins to go down, owner of Climate Control, Brantley Johnson, says homeowners may have noticed HVAC services going up.
Freon prices have gone up almost 600% in the last 10 years. The R22 was $9 a pound, and now it's up to $51 a pound.
Freon's impact on the environment is bringing about the change. That's why the EPA is pushing the switch on Puron, which is cheaper and more energy efficient.
It's going to lower your electricity bill, the newer system that you get.
Johnson recommends that homeowners get a maintenance check if they aren't sure of what is being used in their units.
See if you're low on Freon. They can check your filters, they can check your evaporator coil, they can check your compressor, things of that nature, and they can tell you if it's R22 or R410A.
Johnson says if you happen to have an older air conditioning unit and aren't able to pay for a new model, there may be another option. Freon can be recycled and reused.
Some good information to know there. Well, teachers take care of students' minds, but there's another group of professionals watching out for their physical health.
We visit the nurse's office, but we're not sick when we come back. Welcome back. From scraped knees and bruises to fever and upset stomachs, school nurses see it all. School administrators say nurses are vital for healthy schools, and they help take some of the stress off teachers. For some students, a trip to the nurse's office is a regular part of their school day to get their medication. Others find themselves there only when sick or injured, and sometimes kids aren't well enough to go back to class. That's when nurses have to make the call.
If a student comes into the office, they make that medical decision. Anything medical related, we automatically go to our school nurse first because she's the expert on best practices and what needs may need to be met. And so she makes that decision on this child really is sick, we need to call mom or dad, or this is a child that can stay at school.
And of course, it's not just the kids who go see the nurse when they're sick. Kristen Fondren says they are there also for teachers.
Temperatures right now across our region, upper 80s to around 90. Still a bit sticky out there, but keep watering because we don't really expect a lot of moisture in the near term. Less humidity, though. There will be a better chance for storms next week. We'll have your full forecast next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some friendly clouds here in Tupelo today. Still warm, still a bit steamy, but the clouds are moving from left to right. That means northerly winds, and eventually, at least over the next 12 hours, we'll see a nice little change of humidity, much lower. Temperatures tonight down to around 70 in Tupelo, back into the lower 90s, it looks like, for tomorrow. Here's our live Doppler radar. We popped a few showers earlier, now all of that moving off to the south. We got soaked across the northern tier yesterday evening and last night, and even earlier this morning, some showers and storms down across our southwestern areas, but a good chunk of our area, West Point, Columbus, Starkville, even Tupelo, nothing over the last 24 hours in general. And we've had a lot of rain around the region, but we've been in this donut hole. So I know we've had a lot of rain this year, but some of your plants may still need to be watered as we go throughout the next couple of days. My yard can do without any more rain. I just want it to just burn out, and that will alleviate the need for mowing, but we still need to do some watering here. Nature is watering things down to our south right now. We're now north of that frontal boundary that is moving south. So yes, it's still muggy, dew point still into the low 70s, but it is trending drier just to our northwest, and we will tap into that later tonight and tomorrow. And as I mentioned earlier, upper 80s to around 90 right now. The current heat index around 97 in Columbus and Tupelo. So a few clouds cooler tonight, lows down to around 70 here. Not as warm, not as sticky as what we've had the last couple of nights. 72 at 7 tomorrow, 89 by noon, 93 the forecast high. Wind still from the north at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then we'll usher in that drier air. So drier air does like to warm up pretty fast. So we are still advertising low to mid 90s, but the heat index probably mid to maybe upper 90s tomorrow versus 110 to 118 like what we had yesterday. The better storm chances in the region tomorrow closer to the coast. So you can see with Futurecast, we will have a very quiet weather here for a Thursday, pretty benign weather too for your Friday and Saturday. Eventually that moisture will be returning as we get into your Sunday, so our rain chances will go up to about 30% Sunday and about 30 to 40% next week. Upper 80s, low 90s next week, typical for this time of year, but between now and Saturday, looking pretty hot, pretty dry.
Just 9 stops remaining on our 60 schools in 60 days tour. Catch stop number 52 with New Albany coming up next.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The New Albany Bulldogs are stop number 52 on the high school football tour. The Bulldogs snapped its streak of losing seasons in 2018, and an experienced group looks to snap some more streaks this upcoming season.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
Fresh off its first winning season in 6 years, the New Albany Bulldogs plan on picking up where they left off. Cody Stubblefield's team returns close to 17 starters from 2018, but will have to replace football's most important position, the quarterback. All-State QB and four-year starter Loden Bolin is off to college ball, and senior Charlie Lott steps in to lead one of 4A's best passing attacks.
The good thing about Charlie coming back is he sat behind Loden all year last year. We had the same offense. We're going to continue to do that this year. We don't feel like he's going to have to miss anything or skip anything. We feel like he can pick it up and continue where Loden left off.
Him having a lot of experience, he started for 4 years, and he taught me a lot, just backing him up, and he had a really good season. So it was a good learning experience playing behind him.
Charlie's arm strength is like exceptional. I like the way he can fit balls in tight windows. And 7-on-7, he showed me a bunch of good stuff, and I have full belief in him to take us where we need to go this season.
Winning is contagious, and with the experience back in New Albany, the players are setting the goals high for the upcoming season.
We're shooting for a state championship, of course, this year, and I feel like with the guys we have and with the coaching staff we have, I really think we can do it this year.
It's our first winning season in a long time, and then we just stepped it up more. And Coach Sutherfield always talking about be better, best is the standard.
New Albany will have to get over the first-round hump. 3 straight playoff appearances have ended in Game 1, but the Bulldogs are eager to put an end to another streak.
We're tired of having a first-round exit in the playoffs. We're trying to put New Albany back on the map, so we're trying to get deep into the playoffs and get mentioned around the whole state of Mississippi.
The key really just staying healthy, everybody being bought in and on board. And I really think we have a team this year that can do that.
I think the emphasis this year is to take it game in and game out. But we definitely want to make a bigger impact when the playoffs get here. We want to see if we can play well at that point and see how far we can go.
The Bulldogs begin 2019 on the road against East Union. With New Albany on the high school football tour, Tom Ebel, WCBI Sports.
The countdown for remaining stops on the high school football tour has officially begun. We're in single digits, only 9 stops left to go. Louisville is stop number 53 on Thursday, followed by number 54 with Lafayette coming up on Friday. And then Oxford and Saltillo will be this weekend. If you've missed any of those stops along the way, you can check them out on our website at WCBI.com. It's a new season and a very new Ole Miss team. After losing guys like Jordan Tamu, DK Metcalf, and A.J. Brown, the Rebels will look much younger this season. And new offensive coordinator Rich Rodriguez's main goal as opening kickoff grows closer, limiting errors, and getting his guys up and running at full speed. Rod says after practice that it's important to make sure a fast pace isn't putting any strain on practicing the fundamentals.
So sometimes when fatigue sets in, fundamentally, both mentally and physically, some of that will slip, and we got to do a good job of that as coaches and players and make sure that the fundamental part doesn't slip when we in sacrificing tempo. But we're going to keep going hard and go fast, and our guys have done a pretty good job of it, but we still got a ways to go.
Your last look is next.
Hot and dry for the next few days, but those humidity levels much lower, so we can hack that here.
Yeah.
By Sunday of next week, a better chance for some of those scattered storms, more humidity.
All right.
Typical August weather.
There you go.
All right.
Living for October.
We are.
Exactly. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.